It is actually hilarious how we go from one of the most broken Datacron sets we have ever had in this game, arguably number one, to by far the weakest Datacron set ever. I mean, I can't even believe that I'm doing a review for this set because just seems like such a throwaway, not worth it, but we still got to talk about it. There's going to be some important ones when the previous set expires, so let's dive right in. What's up, Knights of X, and welcome to the Datacron Set 26 review. A very, very weird set. Seems like an absolute waste, but the problem is that eventually it'll be needed because once the OP set expires, we're going to have to work with what we have, and this is going to be the best at that time. So, no focus Datacrons this set. I was waiting to make the video if they were going to post focus Datacrons. Doesn't look like it's happening for this set. It's going to happen to the one after. So, this is going to be a new cadence. I have a lot of thoughts about it, but we're going to treat this like a regular Datacron set review, going over each and every aspect of the set with the stats, the 3, the 6, the 9, all of it. And I'll leave my own personal thoughts at the end. I also am going to have a little Datacron cheat sheet for you guys to follow. It's a little infographic if you guys want to share with your guilds, so you guys can look at certain aspects and points of the 3, 6, and 9 to go for, even with teams not even included as character level 9s, but important for other very strong teams. So this set will have a use, but it will not outweigh Datacron Set 25. Just keep that in mind. Primary focus for the upcoming Grand Arena is Set 25. This is to prepare once that set expires. So we're going to go right into it, guys, starting with the stats. So this is, the thumbnail, but we're going to go right into it. The stats, mostly repeated from the previous set. Only a couple changes. They got rid of tenacity and added health steals. So the clear winners always going to be armor pen, crit damage, health, and protection. Work very well with a lot of teams. The thing with armor pen, there's not a lot of defense cron, so not as important. If there was defense as a stat, it would be more beneficial. Not a lot of characters benefit from armor pen because they'll deal special damage, which doesn't apply. So your best bets are going to be crit damage, health, and protection, but armor pen does work well on certain teams. It doesn't mean it's a bad stat. It's just there's no defense as a opposite to deal with. So those are going to be your 4 strongest. Health always strong with like a race squad. Protection always good with like a JML. Adding extra tanky stats to a team is always beneficial. Love having some potency crons. Always get a Datacron with a couple potency stats because being able to land debuffs can really make or break counters. Something like Mara Jade or just teams that rely on debuff heavy buffs or debuffs. Very nice to have. So get a potency thing. Crit chance and health steal are always going to be the weakest. There was a point where health steal was very important for teams like Jedi, Galactic Legend Rey, or Lord Vader, but we're at a point where it's not that impactful as a stat, so health steal is definitely on the back burner. So going right over to the level 3s, we're going to start with the light side, and they seem to have a huge hard-on for light side level 3s, and they do not like that Great Mothers can take on Ahsoka. So this is the 3rd set in a row, I believe, with a 25% turn meter level 3. It is so annoying. Let Great Mothers be able to beat Ahsoka. You guys made the team. Why are you trying to stop it? So it just seems very weird that they had turn meter 3 sets in a row, but regardless, that's just a personal rant of mine. The 2 strongest level 3s for the light side of the set is going to be the protection up. It's a repeat of some previous sets ago. Very tough to deal with on defense. That protection up is based off your max health, so max health modding is going to greatly benefit that protection up. But the first time each light side ally reaches 75, 50%, or 25% health, granted protection up 50%, which can't be dispelled or prevented. Very good, very strong. Galactic Legend Rey, very annoying to deal with that extra protection up. There are certain squads that can counter this by hitting underneath protection, so it's not going to be your best bet all the time. Like if you're doing Queen Amidala against a GL Rey, they hit under your protection, so that protection up is not going to even matter. So keep that in mind when you're setting your defensive squads. But for the most part, this is going to be one of the stronger level 3s. The one that's going to outweigh everything, and it always does because it's so impactful and important for certain matchups, is the 25% turn meter in the beginning. Being able to go out ahead is just game-changing for most counters and can shut down a lot. For example, Ahsoka with 25% turn meter shuts down the Night Sisters. It just straight up does. Queen Amidala with extra turn meter is very good. So many light side squads with turn meter, super beneficial. Those are the 2 strongest of the set. Now, the 2 in the decent category. Whenever a light side ally inflicts a debuff on an enemy, they deal damage to the enemy equal to 2% of the enemy's max health. This one screams to me, always Boushh Leia on a Jabba team. Might not be the best option for her this set because of the Bounty Hunter level 6, but it's still nice to have. She gets contract very fast for Jabba, and it can be annoying. So that's why it's in the decent category. The next one is the first time each light side ally is defeated, remaining light side allies gain 50% health and speed. 50% offense and speed stacking for the rest of the encounter. This is primarily for your defensive teams. Still, don't think it's going to outweigh turn meter because that could just straight up shut down counters, but on defense, the goal is that your opponent loses, and if they want to win, they got to defeat your allies. The more you do that, the more offense and speed you're giving to the rest of the team. So, very good for defense. Do not recommend it on offense. And over here, the beginning is cut off because of me, but I'll hide it for a second. At the beginning of their turn, light side allies have a 25% chance to dispel all debuffs on themselves. So, this does have a use in some scenarios, but I do not like a 1 out of 4 chance for it to happen. If it was a little bit higher, like 50%, I'd probably put it into the decent category, but there's no way that this is going to outweigh the 2 in the strong category. It's situational, it's RNG based, not as strong as the others. So that's going to wrap up the light side level 3s. We're going to move right into the dark side, and there are 2 clear winners in my eyes. This is whenever dark side allies inflict at least 4 debuffs in a turn, they have a 10% chance stacking to reduce their cooldowns by 1 for each debuff they inflicted that turn. So, obviously, cooldown reduction is a very strong mechanic in this game. The more debuffs you apply, the more chances you are to reducing your cooldowns. This screams Lord Vader immediately. Sometimes a Sith Empire Malgus team, there's a bunch of debuffs being applied by Revan on his AoE shock, so his cooldowns could be reduced. Very strong ability. A lot of dark side teams apply debuffs. So, when you think about between light and dark side are debuff heavy teams, and light side are more buff heavy teams. So this is very nice to have depending on certain teams. Your next best option is going to be whenever dark side allies use a basic ability, they gain critical chance up, crit damage up, and offense up for 2 turns. Very strong, actually. I think that this is one of the better level 3s for this set. That's a big damage boost. I mean, you're going to get critical chance up, that just increases your chance to land a crit. The crit damage up is phenomenal. You tie that into crit damage as a stat for your Datacron, and offense up, that's even more of a damage boost. So I really like the buffs on a basic. You'll be surprised how hard Lord Vader can hit with his buffs on a basic. So it's going to be weird to tie in which level 3 you're going to want to use for him. But again, not going to outweigh the current set that we're currently in. But still, very strong level 3s. The one in the decent category is whenever dark side allies start with their turn with at least 2 buffs that can be dispelled, they gain 5% offense stacking. I do like this if you're going to have a prolonged battle and you want to ramp a little bit. This screams out immediately for Trench to me. Trench gets a lot of buffs with Wat Tambor's healer over time. You get his special tactical supremacy buff, I think it's called. So it's something like in TW, if you're using a Trench team, he gains a lot of buffs. Very good option. It's decent. It just takes time to ramp up. So if you're willing to prolong a battle and you want to ramp up and be able to hit hard, very good Datacron for you, but it's not going to outweigh the other 2 in my personal opinion. There's 2 bad ones. Nothing's cut off here. Whenever dark side allies evade an attack, they gain offense up for 1 turn. Not good at all. Never going to recommend it. And probably the worst level 3 of the set. Dark side allies recover 2% health whenever they critically hit an enemy. Not good at all. If you're relying on health recovery at that point of the battle and your protection's gone, clearly not working out for you. Not a good counter. Really not efficient. So, not a good level 3. That's going to wrap up the dark side level 3s. We're not going to move into the faction level 6s. We're going to go right into it. So, starting with Bounty Hunters. There's 2 clear strong ones, and they're going to fit into many different teams, and one particular Galactic Legend team we're going to show at the end. The first very strong one, whenever a Bounty Hunter ally inflicts a debuff on an enemy, they gain 30% offense stacking, max 300% until the end of the battle. Whenever an enemy resists a debuff, Bounty Hunter allies gain potency up for 2 turns. So, this is practically saying, oh, if I land my debuffs on you, damn, I'm going to get a lot of my offense boosted. If I can't land my debuffs, well, I'm going to make sure I can land it because I'm going to give myself potency up. Very, very strong. This is, spoiler warning, Bausch Leia, 100%. On her basic, she's applying defense down. Thermals don't count as a debuff, I believe, so it's not the thermals that are going to be ramping. It's the defense down on her basic. So, if she's able to land it, her offense is going to be skyrocketing. Very, very strong level 6. And there's a bunch of other bounty hunters that apply debuffs as well, so not a bad option. The second best option, which I do think is going to be very strong as well, whenever a bounty hunter ally has full health and protection at the start of their turn, they deal 100% more damage on their turn. So could you imagine with a Leia, in certain situations, if you're abusing her on offense or even sometimes on defense, if she's dealing 100% more damage on her AoE ability, that's going to one-shot teams, 100%. Jabba has health and protection recovery on his basic for his Hutt Cartel, so even if you do drop below the 100% health and protection threshold, Jabba will be able to help his team get back up and running to 100% max health protection off his basic ability, and even his ultimate. If he hits ult, his whole team recovers full health and protection. So get ready for this. You're going to see some situations where this set level 6, or yeah, this level 6 might be better than even the offense one. So we're going to have to see how that plays out. The other decent ones are at the start of each bounty hunter ally's turn. They have not taken damage since the last turn. They gain critical chance and offense up for 1 turn. Never going to outweigh the other 2. I don't recommend it at all, but it's not a bad one because those are pretty good buffs to have. The problem is it's situational. You have to have not taken damage since your last turn, and I do like the offense up and crit chance up, but again, not going to really impact many matchups. Next up, whenever bounty hunter allies critically hit an enemy during their turn, that ally gains 10% offense stacking for 2 turns. I do like the offense stacking. I don't like that it's only 2 turns. If it was longer than 2 turns or unlimited ramping, then we'd have a conversation, but you're practically going to be getting a lot more offense on the wordy level 6, so never going to outweigh it. And the last one, you're not going to be able to see it. It's a little cut off. Whenever bounty hunter allies attack out of turn, they have a 25% chance to remove 10% turn meter from the target. So a lot of bounty hunter allies attack out of turn, but again, I don't think it's going to be worth it compared to the other 2. There's only a 25% chance to remove 10% turn meter, so it's a 1 in 4 chance to remove only 10%. Not a big fan of that. Don't like those numbers at all. Don't recommend it at all. So, and going back to the 100% health protection for the bounty hunters, also, if you felt like using Django is a bounty hunter. If you use him under a trench team, he can't drop below 100% health and protection for the first 2 turns. He has damage immunity, so he can hit pretty hard. Django, already with, buffs on a basic or the ramping offense 6, if he's dealing way more damage at 100% max health protection, that is dangerous. So I wanted to include that there, but those are the 2 clear winners for the set for bounty hunters. Now we got to talk about droids. 2 clear winners for the set, and the first one is going to be at the start of each droid ally's turn, inflict target lock for 1 turn which can't be resisted to a random enemy that does not have it. Whenever a droid ally uses a basic ability against an enemy with target lock, they recover 10% protection and gain 5% turn meter. This screams to me General Grievous. General Grievous has great synergy against targets with target lock. This has the potential to be a crazy turn meter train, not gonna lie to you. They already gained a bunch of turn meter from General Grievous's lead with target lock. I believe whenever they hit a target locked enemy, your team is gaining turn meter. You pair this in with a Omicron staff, the whole team is going to get an irresistible target lock. A lot of the RNG with Grievous is not being able to land target lock. You gotta wait until you get that ramping going. If you start out right away and get the target lock and the turn meter on your side, you have the potential to run a turn meter train on an entire team. So this could be very abused on offense. Probably going to be able to take out Leia's with Grievous this season. So very nice to have. But it's only situational to certain droid teams, not everything. I think the clear winner and the best one of this level 6 set is at the start of their first turn, droid allies gain offense equal to 400% of their current defense until the end of the battle. And then they lose 50% defense until the end of the battle. So a lot of good droid characters that apply a lot of damage. So R2-D2 could hit pretty hard. Shorty can hit very hard. Even the 2 Afro droids, you never know. Hoi Yang could hit like an absolute diesel truck. This is a very good level 6. Going to be used on many different teams, but we're going to have to see how it plays out. But expect droids to hit very massive this season. Now, talking about the decent, the first time each droid ally falls below 50% health, all droid allies reduce their cooldowns by 1 and gain 10% turn meter. It's not bad to have. I mean, it can be useful. Obviously, lowering cooldowns is a very strong mechanic, and the turn meter could be okay, but it's never going to outweigh the other 2. I don't think it's going to make or break certain counters. Maybe if they gain damage immunity for 1 turn or 2 turns, it'd be stronger, but I do like the cooldown reduction, but it's never going to outweigh the other 2. Then next up, the next decent one is whenever droid allies target another ally with an ability during their turn, they both gain 5% defense, max health, max protection, and offense till the end of the battle. So the thing about this is there are a lot of droids that have like targeting towards your allies. So you have C-3PO who could target someone and put translation, so that's going to ramp up their stats. R2-D2 with the stealth is selecting an ally. So those are 2 situations. I don't think it's ever going to outweigh the top 2. So for C-3PO, he's probably going to want to do this one because he doesn't deal any damage, but this is still nice to have. So it's going to be situational towards certain droid teams. And the last one that is really bad, I'm going to hide me for a second. Whenever droid allies recover health, they recover protection equal to the amount of health recovered. Droid allies can't recover protection this way more than once per turn, or if their health was full. So I'm not really a big fan of this one. I've never really found a use for it. I think there was one Datacron set where people were using it on a Balin squad where it was pretty strong, but I don't think it's ever going to outweigh any of the other options listed. I'm not a big fan of it. Obviously, protection recovery is nice, but I don't think it's ever going to come into use for, you know, an impactful matchup or anything like that. So that's going to wrap up the Droid Level 6. There's 2 clear winners. Now we're going to move into some of the Level 9s. Going right into it, there's 2 clear winners for the Bounty Hunters, and that's going to be IG-88 and SWGOH. Those are the 2 strongest for the Bounty Hunters in the set. The first one reads, all allies gain 50% critical chance, crit damage, and 20% turn meter. So the Bounty Hunters are getting a turn meter gain. Very, very nice in the beginning of battle. They are immune to ability block until the end of the encounter. Whenever an ally scores a critical hit, inflict the damage over time for 2 turns. I'm a big fan of this. This might be something that we see some plug-and-play viability. Maybe you see IG-88 on certain teams just to give turn meter. It says all allies gain critical chance and crit damage. So just because it's listed as a Bounty Hunter, it might have some plug-and-play viability. Imagine an entire team that is immune to ability block until the end of the encounter, and whenever they score a crit, they're gaining damage over times. So even though it's listed as a Bounty Hunter level 9, it's saying all allies are gaining these buffs. So that seems to be the most plug-and-play for me. I just don't know what happens when he goes down. Are they still immune to ability block when he's alive? I'm pretty sure it's still the end of battle, but I'm not really sure about it. Expect that to be extremely plug-and-play and pretty decent. Next up, SWGOH. Not easily accessible as the other characters, but when you do get him up and running, it's going to be pretty good. Whenever SWGOH uses a special ability, all Bounty Hunter allies gain protection up for 2 turns. The question about this is I don't know how much protection up they're gaining. They're not really displaying it, so it's just saying protection up. It's not 25%, 50%, 100%. So they got to clarify that, I think, a little bit more. SWGOH calls a random Bounty Hunter ally to assist. All allies gain foresight for 2 turns. So this one's worded a little weird in my opinion. Like, it's just like very choppy. It's not really explaining like the order of operations. Is he calling a random Bounty Hunter ally to assist when he does a special ability, or is it like a separate clause? And are they gaining foresight for 2 turns after the special ability, or only in the beginning of the battle? Like that, I think they should change the wording of that. It's kind of confusing for me, but he's calling people to assist. I don't know how he's doing it, and I don't know when they're gaining foresight. It might be all based off of when he does a special ability. They got to fix the wording of it, but it's still a strong level 9 to have. The next decent one, I think this is going to be better for early to mid game players, not end game. If you have Fennec Shan up and running and you're facing a Lord Vader team that doesn't have clones, you will be pretty good to go. This will help you. The first time Fennec Shan falls below 100% health, recover 100% health and protection, and gain 100% turn meter. Very helpful for a 3v3 team for Lord Vader if they don't have the dark side clone. So this is going to be very early or mid game. If a player has Lord Vader unlocked but no dark side clones, this will be able to counter him a lot easier. So I do like this level 9 for the early and mid game, but not for end game. Now, gonna hide me for a second. The 2 bad ones, Aura Sing. Whenever Aura Sing stuns an enemy, Aura Sing gains 10% critical damage and speed, 5 speed, max 50 until the end of the encounter. I don't really have a use for Aura Sing. I don't use her at all. I can't imagine where any matchup is going to be impacted by her gaining these stats. She has a stun on a basic, but like honestly, what team do you think she's going to beat because of this level 9? I don't think it's worth it. Maybe if it was on a different character for the set, maybe. But Aura Sing, not very good of a character. She can cheese certain contract mechanics very fast for your other bounty hunters, but level 9, not worth it. And the next bad one is, whenever Forlom inflicts a debuff, they recover 25% of their health, max health and protection, limit once per turn. Again, this is just only a banner recovering mechanic. I don't think it's going to impact any matchup. You might as well use SWGOH if you have more Forlom up and running. Go for the SWGOH level 9 to find more of a use for it, but Forlom here, the level 9, kind of useless. So that's going to wrap up the Bounty Hunter level 9s. We're now going to move on to the Droid level 9s, and there's 2 strong ones in my opinion, and then one that we're going to have for a different slide later on. In my opinion, the 2 strongest of the droids are going to be C-3PO and Chopper. Now, C-3PO reads, when C-3PO uses a basic ability on their turn, all other allies gain 25% turn meter. So, CLS is known for having very big turn meter mechanics. Being able to use C-3PO's basic to gain even more turn meter is phenomenal. I don't know how impactful it's going to be for certain matchups, but it's still nice to have. If this was, whenever he uses a basic ability, not on his turn, that would be a crazy turn meter loop, but it says whenever it's a basic on their turn, so that kind of shuts down any turn meter loopy mechanic. But extra turn meter gains, C-3PO has been using his basic ability a lot because the translation has a 3-turn cooldown, so he only has 2 abilities, going to be using basics a lot. I'm a big fan of it. Now this one's weird because it reads nice on paper, but I feel like Phoenix is never going to be a team that takes damage anyway if you're using it for certain counters. This one reads, whenever a Phoenix ally takes damage, all Phoenix allies gain 30% max health stacking and 30% offense for 1 turn. Chopper ignores taunt. Whenever Chopper takes damage while taunting, Chopper recovers 50% protection and all Phoenix allies gain 30% turn meter until the end of 2 turns. So, again, I mostly use Phoenix to counter Inquisitors. They don't ever take a turn anyway, so if you're taking damage, then there's something wrong. I mean, maybe there's certain counters where Phoenix are getting attacked, so that could come in handy, but for my particular use in Kyber 1, where I'm using them against Inquisitors, they shouldn't be getting hit anyway, so wouldn't stress too much about this one. If you do end up getting it, it's pretty good if you're using it for other situations, but not the end of the world. There's 2 other decent ones, and the first one is BB-8. BB-8 gains 50% turn meter when other allies use a special ability on their turn. So, obviously, if you do this with like a possible General Grievous team, and the turn meter train is just flowing, BB-8 gives a bunch of turn meter to droid allies in the beginning because of his unique. So this could facilitate a turn meter train-ish on a Grievous team. So I have to figure that out on how I want to run it. But if you tie this in with like a target lock level 6, we'll have to see. I'm not going to guarantee that BB-8 is going to be super needed. Obviously the level 9 is helpful, but I don't think it's essential. It's decent. Now, going to cover me for a minute. This next one is 3PO. Whenever 3PO is dealt damage, reflect 20% of the damage dealt back onto the attacker as true damage, which can't be evaded. This damage can't defeat enemies. The thing about this is that the reason why it's decent is because it has the potential to steal banners. But I don't think it's going to be impactful enough to where you're going to place it on defense and it's going to shut down crazy counters or anything like that. So it's meant for droids. He is a droid, but I don't think it's going to have a use in Kyber 1. Only reason why I think it's decent is because it has the potential to steal banners, and that's what we want. We want to steal banners. We want to be able to out-efficient our opponent. And the last one that is bad is IG-11. Whenever IG-11 afflicts a debuff, they recover 25% of their max health protection limit once per turn. Not going to impact any matchup. Barely use IG-11 anymore. Was pretty fun with a Santa comp back in the day with her level 9, but I wish this team was more relevant because back in the day, they were pretty good. IG-11 and Quill were a menace. You wanted to mod your Quill very fast, but has really fallen down in terms of favor, and I really hope we get some sort of unit soon to bring them back up and running, but that is not going to be it for this set. Like that, IG-11 is not going to come back into the meta because of it. But we're almost at the finish line. We have one more slide that is not the cheat sheet, and it's going to be the OP character level 9 for the set. The one you're going to want to go for out of all the other teams is going to be the Huyang level 9, and it's not just for Grand Arena, but it's also for Territory War. So if you guys take Territory War very serious, this is going to be an absolute nightmare to deal with the Omicrons on Syndulla and Padawan Sabine. So regardless, this will have a good use in Kyber 1, even in Grand Arena, but even more in Territory War. Huyang. Whenever Huyang uses a special ability, if General Syndulla, Padawan Sabine, and Ezra Bridger Exile are allies, they gain 40% offense, crit damage, and defense pen for 2 turns, and they each assist. That's very strong. It's a little mini steroid boost for your allies, and it's not even a mini boost. I mean, that's a lot of offensive stats. 40% offense, 40% crit damage, and 40% defense pen. Tie that in with other stats in the Datacron. Very good. If Ahsoka Tano GL is in the leader slot, she gains 25% turn meter and offense up for 2 turns. Whenever Huyang gains History of the Galaxy, all allies gain 50% critical chance, max 45%, and 20% offense, max 60 until the end of the battle. So the reason why I like this is that it's really ramping up the damage for your team. Don't think it's going to outweigh the current set. So obviously prioritize this. You're going to want to get it because we now have one Datacron set to get the crons that we need. So this is to prepare you for when set 25 expires. This is the clear one you want to go for. It's the best one of the set. Going to transform an Ahsoka team afterwards once the OP set is gone. That extra damage boost is phenomenal. So I don't know if it's going to shut down things like Leia in Grand Arena. But if you have a fast Ahsoka team, you get the 25% turn meter. You have a really good chance of having your team pop off, especially if you have Ezra Bridger Exile. He's a phenomenal character, and he already is a massive damage dealer as a support character. That guy has no flaws. So this is the clear winner for the set. I highly recommend this is the one you go for to prepare for when set 25 expires. It's the best one of the set. Now, for the last slide, we got to talk about the mini little infographic that I made for you guys to follow. So going right into it, I'm going to hide myself. You're going to find this infographic in my Discord in the infographic section. I might make a separate one so we can separate Conquest infographics to Grand Arena GAC infographics or Datacron infographics. So come and join my Discord. It'll be linked down below in the comments section, or in my description actually. And this is what it looks like. So focus Datacrons are not present for this set, so don't worry about it. This is pretty much going over, it's not in any particular order, but the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters are going to be level 9s. The last 3 are going to be teams that are going to benefit greatly from the set that don't have level 9s, but I highly recommend you check it out. So Leia with the level 6 for Bounty Hunters, R2 with the 400% more offense, and General Grievous with the target lock mechanic is going to be phenomenal. So this is what I'm recommending for you guys. On the bottom right, I'm going over the best level 6s and 3s for the set that you need to go for. So again, this one's going to be a lot quicker than my other Datacron reviews because it's only 2 factions, and honestly, this is a throwaway set. So, moral of the story, do not overstress about this set. Get the important level 9s, like Hoi Yang, Zuckuss is helpful. Make sure you get the level 6s for your Leia team. It's not going to be used. It's not going to be used until 25 expires. This is just preparing you for when set 25 is donesy. So, and overall, my opinion about the whole Datacron cadence, am I a fan of it? Absolutely not. I don't like that we have to now go all in on one conquest to get all these Datacrons, and that we're splitting it up. We're going to be doing these every month now, it looks like. There are going to be so many more Datacron set reviews that we have to talk about, and it's just more and more grindy and stressful to get the crons that you need. So hopefully this helps organize you guys to tell you what you need and what you want. So if you guys found this useful, leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel for more content to support your boy Vex. And I'll see you guys in the next one. May the Force be with you all.